If you've been pouring hours into creating free content but still feel like your business is spinning its wheels financially, you're not alone, friend. Creating endless freebies, challenges, or blog posts might grow your audience, but it doesn't always grow your revenue. The good news, you don't need to keep creating more. It's time to leverage the valuable content you've already made. You likely already have exactly what you need to quickly turn your best performing free content in a tiny offer that sells. No starting from scratch required, just smart, strategic repurposing. And here's how you do it. Because solutions can be found in the struggle. Isn't it funny how some of your best solutions come straight from your struggles? If you think about it, we usually find the answers we need when we push through those challenges instead of actually just giving up. Trust me, I've often felt like the queen of struggle. I guess there's an upside though. All of that struggling led me to some of the most valuable discoveries that I could have gotten in my business. When I started my online business, I struggled big time to make even a consistent profit. Sure, imposter syndrome was partially to blame with that, but the biggest problem was that I didn't have a really clear path for my audience to move from my free content to my paid services. I was spending tons of time creating blogs, lead magnets, and freebies. And if you've been around here at all, you know it took me a really long time to be able to even create one blog post. But I wasn't seeing much return on that investment. One, I didn't have a really good SEO strategy, and I had that whole imposter syndrome, and it took me so long to do something. But honestly, I was exhausted, burnt out, and totally discouraged by the endless cycle of content creation. Are you with me on that one? That struggle is exactly what pushed me to discover a smarter way instead of constantly creating something new. I began repurposing the valuable content I already had. My audience had already shown that they loved. And here's the magic. When your free content is already a proven winner, you know it'll make an irresistible tiny offer. It feels amazing knowing your best work isn't sitting forgotten. It's out there making an impact and growing your business. Here's just a real world example. So turning existing content into a hidden asset for you and your business. During a content audit with a client, it didn't take me very long to recognize that she was headed for content burnout. You know, you have to be there in order to recognize when somebody else is going there. She was still showing up, but her offer and her content weren't aligned anymore. Her sales funnel used to convert very well, but after updating her one-on-one coaching package, it stopped working for her. Everything just really felt off and that pipeline just dried up. And she thought she'd have to start over from scratch and spend like 6 months building a brand new funnel to fit her new direction. And of course, that's overwhelming. So what do you do when you're overwhelmed with something? Sometimes you'll procrastinate. And like so many other business owners, she was already stretched thin, balancing her client work, managing her back end of her business, and actually just keeping everything running around her home. And as we talked, she mentioned she felt the most in flow when she went live in her private Facebook group. That's where her best teaching happened. She would start to talk and go back and listen to it, and she was like, I'm amazed at other things that came out of my mouth. So she started right there with that content that she was already proud of, that she knew that people were actually getting benefit from. And what we found was even better than we thought. It was an actual goldmine of high value content, live streams, trainings, and like resources that she had already created that could be repurposed into her tiny offer or a tripwire. But because none of it had been reused, she was feeling frustrated with that constant churn of content that she was putting out, that it was a one and done. She was always creating new content. She was always going live on Facebook. She was always going live on her social media, and it was feeling so tiring for her. And she was getting, like I said, burnt out from all of that. She was on the struggle bus trying to create that steady profit because her pipeline was drying up on her. And that system that she had in place before no longer fit into her business. Using what she already had, we mapped out a fresh aligned sales funnel that took her audience from free opt-in to low cost tripwire and then into our new coaching offer. And the best part, it didn't take 6 months. It only took like a couple of weeks of focused repurposing with minimal new creation. And this isn't something I recommend to my clients. It's something that I'm working on myself as well, because I had my own tiny offer light bulb moment earlier this year. I was part of a goal achieving mastermind and was looking for an easy way to create a tiny offer, even though more tiny offer tripwire to go along with my content system freebie that I have. But I was part of this goal achieving mastermind. So let me circle back. And I was looking for, like I said, an easy way to create that tiny offer, the tripwire. Even though my core service is repurposing podcast content into blogs, emails, and social media, I also help clients set up their workflow in systems and tools like Trello or Asana. And that's when it hit me. I already have Trello workflows that I've created for clients. With just a few small tweaks, I can actually take that general content, record a short video on how to customize it, and add some prompt questions so I can guide people through their own setup process so they can start and set up their own content system that will work for them. But the base was already built. I just needed to repurpose it. And that one shift turned something I already had into a valuable strategic offer that I'm working on currently. It's a reminder that the next tiny offer doesn't have to be complicated. You're probably got what you need just sitting in your Google Drive or buried in your client folders. So I'm curious, friend, have you ever created something custom for a client, a workbook, a training video, a system walkthrough that could be repurposed with just a few tweaks? Those projects often hold more potential than we give them credit for, because look at, somebody already wanted to have that type of product. They've paid for it. And you may be wondering if tiny offers actually still work, or if it's just another outdated strategy that's being recycled. But here's my thoughts on it. Tiny offers are going to work, but only when they're used with intention. So this is what I mean about it. People are more discerned about what they buy now. They're not looking for those bundle of PDFs that are never opened. I don't know about you, but I got a ton of them that still sit on my Google Drive that I'm not sure I've ever looked at. And they want quick wins, shortcuts, and tools that solve specific problems in real time. I mean, isn't that what you're looking for? When you go and buy something, you're looking for something specifically for one problem you're trying to solve. And when your tiny offer delivers that, it becomes a powerful part of your overall content and sales strategy. So tiny offers that work today, or the ones that I look at, what are the things that you look at for tiny offers? They're clear and outcome driven. They solve one specific problem that you're trying to solve, are positioned as valuable, not cheap. And they fit seamlessly into your bigger offer ecosystem that you already have, because you don't want to have something that's a standalone. You want to make sure it's going to flow into everything that you already have. Otherwise, there's no point to it. When you're done, a tiny offer helps you build that trust, and it filters your audience, and it gives you content. It gives your content a job to do. That's why the strategy still matters, and why it's worth creating one that's aligned with your business now. How to turn your free content in a tiny offer that actually sells, because I got to give you a checklist here, friends. Here's how you want to do it. One, you need to find that content that's already working. So go through your content and look for patterns. What gets the most downloads, saves, or responses? That's where the value actually is at. That's your starting point. Then you're going to decide what to turn it into. So think, what makes it easier for someone to take the next step? So popular formats, for tiny offer, are those printable workbooks, but they're easy checklist type of things where they can actually put it into place. A mini video series, a training paired with the checklist, a swipe file or template. Like, think things that are already done for them that they can easily implement. And it's just not starting at zero, because you're shaping what's already there. So keep that in mind as well. 3 is add a bonus or two. So sprinkle in that extra value. You want things to be very valuable for the people that actually are buying your tiny offer. You don't want it to be just junk where they're going to be like, oh, why did I do this? This is worthless. You want to make sure that it's really good. And if you need to put in some bonus templates or quick video starts, like behind the scenes resources, whatever you want to give them a really good win right away. And again, the whole point of tiny offer is to keep the price low but valuable. So you want to think anywhere from 7, 17, 27, something that feels like an easy yes. And that goal isn't to make a huge profit, friend. It's to build that trust and that momentum that moves people towards your high ticket offer down your sales funnel. 5, you want to create that urgency without being pushy. You can do this with a limited time pricing, fast acting bonus, or simply showing what they'll miss if they don't take action now. Urgency doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be clear. Or you can put this as a tripwire on your thank you page when they download your freebie. Make it easy to say yes. This is where clear messaging and intentional delivery matters. Don't hide it in your footer. Share it in your welcome email, add it to your social content rotation. Should be something you're excited to tell people about. You know, like those bars that people have at the top of the website that's a buy now. It's so easy to put it there too. And you want to track what's working. So once it's live, track those numbers, friends. What's converting, what needs tweaking. So keep track of your numbers, my friends. Okay, it's time to wrap this up. You've already put in the work. You've already shown up with value. Now it's time to just let that content keep working for you. If you're tired of feeling like your best content is sitting unused, this is your invitation to do something with it. One tiny offer can be the thing that starts a whole new level of ease and flow in your business. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I hope you make it a wonderful week.
Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.